watching Local News 8 at 10. Local people, local news.
Good evening to you. After days of being stranded in Idaho Falls, following several flight cancellations, dozens of Allegiant passengers are finally on their way to their destination. This comes after the perfect storm of events, and it wasn't started by our Friday snow. Tonight, an investigation is underway into what happened.
I don't know what to do.
Fed up and frustrated, Joanne Kelly from Arizona just wants to be back home.
I miss 75-degree weather. I'm here. It is beautiful, and I do love visiting my friends here.
The former Idaho Falls resident was in town visiting friends. She was supposed to be back in Tucson on Thursday. Every flight Joanne was booked canceled for some reason or another. Her Thursday flight canceled because of a mechanical issue. It was rescheduled for Friday. The Friday flight canceled as well because of the weather. Allegiant says the conditions on the runways just weren't safe. The airport director says United and Delta had no problems.
Around 2 p.m. was when they canceled their flight due to weather, and we have documentation that other airlines were using their runway and our runway conditions were actually acceptable.
The canceled Friday flight was rescheduled for Saturday. When passengers were preparing to leave, the portable jet bridge used by Allegiant broke. The airport director says the issue, Allegiant brought in a plane too big for the jet bridge.
The airport and the airlines and even our FBO, our Good Space operator, it's kind of the support services for the airport. They all worked together to try and find any other way to get these passengers up there last night, and we just couldn't find a way. We have a couple portable air stairs that you kind of drag up to the airplane, and then it's a series of ramps, but both of them could not fit how tall that Airbus was.
Joanne doesn't blame the airport for all of the issues that happened over the last several days. She doesn't like the airport's way of communicating, but she says most of the blame lies with Allegiant Airlines.
If there was a delay or a problem, they send another plane or they book you on another airline. I have never had this situation happen.
A never-before-experienced situation turned into a learning experience for Joanne, an avid traveler.
Fly Delta. I don't know what else to say. Or hire people who are more responsive to the traveler's needs.
A message to Allegiant from one fed-up passenger. So Allegiant would not do a recorded interview, but they did tell me they dispute the airport's stances, saying the plane was the right size for the jet bridge. A spokesperson says passengers affected by these series of problems were giving a $250 voucher for future flights. The Idaho Falls Airport director says that the airport plans on buying a larger jet bridge to accommodate larger planes. As far as Joanne, though, she was able to get home tonight, leaving Idaho Falls about 2 hours ago. New at 10, an ex-Mormon is launching a website for people to leak confidential information about the LDS Church. The site is called Mormon WikiLeaks. Ryan McKnight, who resigned from the church in 2014, plans to launch it tomorrow. The purpose is to promote transparency, according to him. In an interview with a Salt Lake City TV station, McKnight says it isn't an anti-Mormon website. There will be a vetting process to make sure no false information is published on it. After several acts of vandalism, the Unitarian Universalist Church took to the streets today. It was a way for them to stand in solidarity with the Black Lives Matter movement. Local News 8's Misty Inglet marched with them. Misty, they weren't letting the cold stop them today.
Definitely not, Chris. I can attest to the fact that it was absolutely freezing out there. Even though the march wasn't very long, it seemed to get colder and colder. But they pushed on through the snow, dropping temperatures and an icy wind, all to get their message out there.
Black lives matter!
Black lives matter!
Or no lives matter!
Or no lives matter!
Single-digit temperatures didn't stop this group of people from marching through Idaho Falls in support of the Black Lives Matter campaign. The march started at the Unitarian Universalist Church, went along the Greenbelt, across Broadway Bridge, and back.
Well, the march matters because we need the community to recognize that this is an issue that matters here and that the support of it does exist here.
Those who walked say it was important for them and they felt it was a worthy cause to brave the cold.
It really meant a lot. I have followed the Black Lives Matter movement from the very beginning, and to finally have a way to express support for that locally in person really is very important. It meant a lot to me.
I thought it was cold, but I thought we need to go. It doesn't matter. You just keep doing what you need to do. And it was really nice to see the people that did show up because it was quite difficult.
I think it's an important message for them and to remind everyone else that they are here and these problems exist in our community as well.
In Idaho Falls, I'm Misty Inglet. Now the church had another.
The new banner costs $150. It was paid for by donations from community and congregation members. Let's talk first alert weather now. A dangerous night on the roads this evening. This is a look at I-15 near Sage Junction from earlier this evening. Idaho State Police say they have responded to nearly a dozen crashes up and down the Snake River Valley. Roads across the state are slick. And so let's take a live look at our road conditions. You can see the map. Things are starting to improve across the state, but it's still dangerous. The blue is going to be your tricky areas, slightly covered with snow and ice. And then you have your purple conditions, which is around the Idaho Falls area, and then some down near Pocatello, and those are the most difficult areas of travel. Crews are still working to get the streets throughout Idaho Falls cleared. Starting at 8 in the morning, the crews will be clearing the east and west streets. So if you've parked your car in Zone A, which is downtown, you are urged to remove your car or it will be towed at your expense. This is part of the new parking restrictions that happen when there is more than 2 inches of snow on the ground. It's to allow ease of access for snow plows to do their jobs. Chris Nessman, one of the reasons that we're seeing all of these slide-offs is because the roads are slick, and that's just because it hasn't warmed up enough for the snow to melt.
It hasn't warmed up at all. In fact, speaking of cold temperatures, just look at some of these numbers. Already at this hour, we're seeing 6 below in Pocatello and Idaho Falls, 10 below in Chalice and Stanley, and it's just cold. And unfortunately, too, while we're not seeing strong winds, when it is this cold, even a mere 7 in Idaho Falls or even 3 in Rexburg means wind chill is a factor. So if you have to head outside, bundle up because it feels like on your skin 20 below in IF and 27 below in Jackson. So very, very cold tonight, but we do have some good news coming as far as the storm will be moving off the Pacific. So tonight, average low, that should be 10 below, not 5 below. That was the earlier, so it tells you how cold it is because we blew past our forecasted lows, Chris. And if you can get through tonight, it does get better temperature-wise, so I'll have more on that.
We are looking forward to that news. Thanks, Chris. An Idaho man is okay tonight after a car plowed into a bus stop in California. The man was visiting San Francisco when the car ran into the bus stop after hitting 2 other parked cars. We know that 10 people were injured and 5 of them were taken to the hospital. 2 of them were life-threatening. The man says he's lucky that he wasn't one of the people hit.
I was walking along the sidewalk and then I hear a huge noise just behind me, so I just jumped to a corner along the street. And when I look back, after like 1 or 2 seconds, I saw this car just rush to the sidewalk and it hit about, I think, 6 or 5 people.
A scary situation. Police have not said what caused the car to crash, and there's no word if anyone is being charged. Back in Idaho, a sex trafficking bust lands 15 people in jail. This happened at the Ontario-Oregon Hotel. Lots of people from Idaho, though. Investigators posted online ads on well-known sex trafficking websites. The suspects contacted the undercover police officers and arranged payment for sexual acts. Everyone involved was booked and taken to jail in Oregon. If you'd like to see the names of the people that were arrested, they are listed on our website, localnews8.com. Going around the region now to Rafton, Idaho has its first female police chief. 45-year-old Tommy McLean will take over as the city's police chief on January 1st. McLean has been with the department since 1994. The city council unanimously appointed her to this position last week. Looking ahead to tomorrow, electors nationwide will cast their official ballot for the next president. The 4 electoral votes here in Idaho will cast their ballot at the state capitol. To our south in Utah, the 6 Republican electors there say they will cast their vote for Donald Trump, and that's despite being flooded with letters and calls urging them to vote for someone else. With the Electoral College set to vote tomorrow, Trump's aides are pushing back against allegations that his win was influenced by Russian hackers. U.S. intelligence agencies concluded in October that Russia was behind the hacking, and now they agree Russian President Vladimir Putin was directly involved. It's something Trump and his team deny.
If there is this conclusive opinion among all of these intelligence agencies, then they should issue a report or they should stand in front of a camera and make the case.
Electors set to vote tomorrow were asked for a briefing on Russia before casting their vote. Intelligence officials denied that. Republican electors have reportedly been bombarded with pleas to ditch Trump. A home for the holidays. Tonight, after 34 days in a hotel, a Blackfoot family has a new place to live after a November fire. That story's ahead. Plus, a Christmas worry with just 7 days until the big day. Why some Amazon pilots are worried your gifts won't arrive in time. And a live look over Jackson this snowy Sunday. Right after the break, the new resolution the town's mayor-elect is working on to protect undocumented immigrants from deportation.
And it is a cold night. You can see we do have an inversion as the steam from the plant in Rexburg kind of hovering along the skyline because it's cold. And you take a look at these highs and lows coming up. Some of those lows are actually already out of date because we are colder than some places got last night. Take a look.
Local people, local news. You're watching Local News 8 at 10.
New tonight, Jackson's new mayor wants to protect undocumented immigrants. Mayor-elect Pete Muldoon and one town councilor worry President-elect Donald Trump will have a negative effect on the city's Hispanic community. Let's take a live look over Jackson tonight. Muldoon says he is working on a resolution to protect undocumented immigrants from deportation. The mayor-elect says Jackson's large Latino population is the reason behind this resolution. Muldoon worries a mass deportation could hurt the city's economy. A Blackfoot family who lost their home in a November house fire finally have a new place to call home. The Giffords family lost their home on November 12th, and for the last month, Shane, his wife, and two boys have spent their life cramped in a hotel. I spent a day with them, and it is cramped. After some very long 34 days, the family moved into a new home yesterday.
It's been different. It's been a lot tighter spaces. I'm on my, like I said, my bed is our dining room table. It's our sofa. It's our entertainment room. It's, you live on a, have nowhere to sit.
The family dog George, you see him here, was killed in the November fire. Everything that the family owned was destroyed. The fire is believed to have been electrical. The Giffords insurance paid for them to stay in the hotel for the last month. They've also received several donations of household items, but they still need much more. There is a link to a GoFundMe on our website if you would like to help. Well, call it the country under attack by bitter cold. A blast of Arctic cold is surging its way eastward tonight as a deep freeze lingers over much of the country. More than a dozen deaths are now blamed on this onslaught of snow, sleet, and ice. ABC's Richard Cantu has our report.
For 50 million Americans, this is another brutal round of bone-chilling sub-zero wind and cold.
It feels like I'm in the Antarctic.
In Minneapolis, even this thermometer looked frozen solid at -2 degrees. Air travelers frozen out. More than 3,000 flights grounded, stranding so many trying to get home for the holidays.
Got through security, then my flight got canceled.
In Chicago, this plane slid off the runway in bad weather at O'Hare Airport, landing in the grass. No injuries. At Soldier Field, the tailgate partiers were bearing up.
We have frozen guacamole and hummus.
I gotta take one quick drink and then it's gonna freeze.
Giving new meaning to the term cold brew. And the bitter temperatures couldn't throw the NFL for a loss. Players and fans bundled up in Chicago, Denver, and Kansas City. The coldest game today, 2 degrees at Arrowhead Stadium. The dangerous cold is a call to action for Good Samaritans. These two women passed out sub-zero sleeping gear to the homeless.
The way that they held the sleeping bags and the smile on their faces.
I'm thankful, man, really thankful. It's gonna help me out a lot tonight.
With millions still digging out and weather-related wrecks still being cleared away, another bitter cold blast comes Monday for millions. Richard Cantu, ABC News, New York.
And we got even colder here, and we're still getting colder.
I just want to bring up, again.
National, here's his rant.
It's my soapbox. National, they don't pay attention to us because all those forecasts. Chalice today set a record, 23 below this morning. That was a new record. So
I'm just going to let him have his moment.
Anyway, let's take a look at your forecast right now in Idaho Falls. It is 6 below, so again, colder than everything they talked about there. So we've had our Arctic air and our fair share of it here in Idaho. And we've got one more night, as in tonight, we're going to be seeing it. So you see, very, very chilly right now. A lot of folks negative, zeros, or when Burley's the balmy spot at 6, or should I say 9. 9's really not that warm. Light is at the end of the tunnel because we do have a winter storm watch coming, meaning, and this storm, what it's going to do is going to mix the air, get it all out of here, and we're going to be back to where we should be in December, which is still winter-like, but I'm talking 20s and low 30s instead of single digits and sub-zero. And there it is. You can see it's starting to make its way onto the Washington coast. It's going to be a fairly quick one, too. It moves in Monday evening, slides past on Tuesday, and then by Wednesday, we start to clear out fairly nicely. And let's kind of get a bit of a closer look at that storm. So starting about noon tomorrow, we'll see it in Chalice, Salmon, Stanley, about as far as Mackay around lunchtime. A few snow flurries. Obviously, the mountains getting a bit more. By the afternoon, it starts to move along the Continental Divide. You'll see a bit spill into the Teton Valley area. Maybe some in Madison County, and stick a 20% chance for Rexburg tomorrow. Most areas will have to wait till Tuesday to see it. And yeah, we are going to get some rain with that warmer air coming in. Now that's mainly going to be Pocatello down the Snake River Plain. Blackfoot, maybe a bit of a rain snow mix, and I think Idaho Falls on up, Arco included, will stick with the snow. Wednesday, again, it clears out and we actually get a fairly nice day ahead. Now just quick summary of these snow totals, if I can get on the right side of the screen here. Northern Mountains getting it Monday, widespread activity on Tuesday, and then again, bit of daytime rain in Pocatello. Totals 1 to 4 inches in the valleys, 4 to 8 inches in the mountains above 6,500 feet, though a few isolated locations like the Tetons could see a bit more. But look at these temperatures. Again, we had to adjust these already, and even then, I don't think they're cutting it. In fact, I know Chalice isn't cutting it because they are past that. So you focus on the extended forecast, big temperature change coming up. 31 for a high in Rexburg instead of 15 on Monday. So it is going to get better. You just have to get through tonight before things get considerably better. So a quick summary of what we're going to see tomorrow. This is for Idaho Falls. Add a few degrees for Pocatello, subtract a few degrees as you head up north. It's going to be fairly chilly with increasing clouds as the day goes on. Idaho Falls extended forecast. Chance of some patchy fog tomorrow, and then big changes with temperatures, and then we slowly slip back to cooler, but still relatively average temperatures towards Christmas. And speaking of Christmas, if you're going to stay local and travel local, the weekend actually doesn't look too bad. The problem will be if you travel earlier, particularly Tuesday evening is going to be the toughest as far as travel conditions go for our region. Jackson going from 15 tomorrow to the 20s. So that is relatively nice. Chris?
Thanks, Chris. Tonight, the entertainment world is in mourning. One of Hollywood's most flamboyant celebrities has died after years of health problems. Actress Zsa Zsa Gabor has died at the age of 99. ABC's Lindsay Davis takes a look at her life.
Zsa Zsa Gabor was known more for her larger-than-life personality than for her big-screen performances. A former Miss Hungary, she began appearing in films in the 1950s. The original Moulin Rouge was considered her best work.
I see them as I want them to be, not as they really are.
She also developed something of a cult following as the star of the campy space movie Queen of Outer Space.
I came here to tell you that your lives are in great danger.
But it was as a professional celebrity that Gabor shined. Perfectly coiffed, dripping with diamonds, she called everyone darling on and off the screen.
But darling, a girl can't make a success on instincts alone. To understand a man takes a lifetime of study.
And study she did. Gabor was married 9 times. I've never hated a man enough, she once said, to give his diamonds back. In 1990, Gabor made headlines for slapping a police officer after being pulled over for a traffic violation.
And if I go to jail, Bistro Garden said they're going to serve me food 3 times a day. I can at least have some peace and I can write my book. Actually, it would be okay.
Gabor was sentenced to serve 72 hours in jail.
Thank you, darling. I'll let you know how jail is.
She later spoofed the cop-slapping incident on screen. In her later years, Gabor suffered a series of health problems. A car accident left her partially paralyzed, and at the age of 89, she had a stroke. But this is the Zsa Zsa Gabor fans will remember. Glamorous, regal, and always a bit outrageous.
I bet she's old Maya.
Lindsay Davis, ABC News.
Just 7 days now until Christmas. Tonight, a concern your gifts might not arrive in time. We'll explain next. And ahead in sports, the Utah Jazz look to make it 4 wins in a row. Julia Cox brings you the highlights from today's game next on Sportsline.
Holmes.
It's like 2. Happening right now, concerns your Christmas package won't arrive on time if you're using Amazon. Pilots for the online shopping giant's Prime Air service saying their contract could mean there are not enough pilots to deliver Amazon gifts in time for Christmas. In November, disgruntled employees employed by ABX Air walked off the job. A judge, though, quickly ordering them back to work, writing in his ruling, "Imagine Christmas without Amazon."
The court determined in this particular case that what the pilots were disputing was a quote-unquote minor dispute.
In a written statement, Amazon reassuring shoppers that despite the battle with the union, Christmas is perfectly safe, saying it can promise no disruptions through the busy holiday season. And if you haven't already bought and sent your Christmas gift, well, you're running out of time. For you last-minute shoppers, a strategy is important. Here's Linda Lopez with the best ways to shop last minute.
It's go time. With just 7 days until Christmas, for all you procrastinators out there, time is running out. Style website Refinery29's Connie Wang says you can get it all done, but only if you get organized.
Come to the store with a list. You could end up buying way too much, or the worst is you forget something.
You gotta buckle down and get this done today. Now that you have a strategy, here are some of Connie's do's and don'ts as you go on your shopping blitz. She disagrees that gift cards are the way to go. Although fast and easy,
It's money that they can only spend in one place, right? And then sometimes when I get mine, I know that I've always thought, like, what are they trying to say about my lifestyle?
what if you still have your sister or BFF to cross off your list? Make your own beauty pack. Start with an attractive cosmetics bag and make one high-end makeup item the centerpiece, allowing you to save some dough by filling out the rest with more affordable odds and ends.
I love this idea. A general rule is to have one really nice thing,
right,
and then fill it up with whatever.
As for your colleagues, consider these pretty and practical trays for their desk at work.
I put business cards, paper clips, just random coins on them.
Your significant other still using the earbuds that came with their phone until they're frayed? Well, you still have time to order a perfectly sturdy pair online for as little as $10. But Wang says you can really send a message by splurging on deluxe brands that will be music to your loved one's ears.
These ones are kind of top of the line. Master Dynamic, they're a fairly new brand, but they make the best sounding headphones. And these are a little pricey. They are $120-ish.
So your last minute gifts can still be great ones and have them rocking around the Christmas tree.
Speaking of Christmas gifts, the busiest mailing day of the year is nearly here. The United States Postal Service says come tomorrow, more than 2 million cards, letters, and packages will be mailed in the Gem States. That's 7,000 pieces of mail being processed a second. Nationwide, the busiest day for sending mail is expected to be Thursday. If you've got questions about mailing an item, extra Postal Service staff will be on hand tomorrow.
You're watching Sportsline with Julia Cox.
Sitting in 6th place in the Western Conference, the Utah Jazz traveled to Memphis to take on the Grizzlies to the second quarter. Memphis leads by 2, and Gordon Hayward dishes it to Rudy Gobert in the lane, and he slams it home. The game is tied at 32 to the third quarter. Grizzlies are up by 1. Mike Conley knocks down the corner 3. Memphis leads 54-50. Later in the third, the Jazz are up by 1. Rodney Hood drives into the lane, pulls up and hits the floater. Jazz leads 61-58 to the fourth. The game is tied at 64. Marc Gasol going one-on-one with Gobert. He spins and hits the shot. Memphis takes a 2-point lead. The Jazz would respond, though. Check out the bounce pass from Hayward to Gobert, who dunks it with authority to tie the game. And then the Jazz start pulling away from deep. Boris Diaw knocks down the tray ball, and then it's Hayward, and then Shelvin Mack will get in on the action with the corner 3. Jazz win it 82-73. Now, the Idaho State men's basketball team took on Boise State this afternoon. They lost 82-59. After trailing by just 4 at the half, ISU was outscored 45-26 in the second. Ethan Telfair led the Bengals in points with 19. Novak Topalovic and Robert Jones each had 10 points. Now, sitting in third place in the AFC West, the Denver Broncos hosted the New England Patriots this afternoon. The Pats had a chance to clinch the AFC East. To the action, first quarter, no score. Patriots are punting the football. Jordan Norwood fumbles the punt, and the Patriots are able to recover it, and New England is going to capitalize on the turnover. Here is Steven Gostkowski kicking the 45-yard field goal straight through the uprights. Pats lead 3-0 to the second quarter. The game is tied at 3. The Broncos are in the red zone, and Trevor Siemian gets picked off by Logan Ryan, who gets a nice return yardage on the interception. And then once again, the Patriots make the Broncos pay for their mistakes. LeGarrette Blount scores on the 1-yard touchdown, his 15th of the season, breaking a Patriots single-season record for rushing touchdowns. New England leads 10-3, and the Patriots win it 16-3. New England clinches their 8th straight AFC East title and a first-round bye in the playoffs. Over to Green Bay, taking on Chicago at Soldier Field. -3 degrees. They basically played in Idaho. To the third quarter, it's 13-10 Green Bay. Ty Montgomery slices through the Chicago defense for the touchdown. The Packers lead 20-10. Later in the third, same score, Christine Michael bursts through the middle, breaks the tackle, and scampers 42 yards into the end zone. Green Bay leads 27-10. To the fourth quarter now, the Bears are down by 10. Jordan Howard breaks off the left tackle and muscles his way into the end zone for the 9-yard touchdown. Bears trail 27-24. Later, same score, less than 2 minutes to go in the game. Connor Barth hits the 22-yard field goal, and the Packers' 17-point lead has vanished. But have no fear, the discount double check guy is here. Aaron Rodgers hits up Jordy Nelson for the 60-yard gain with less than 30 seconds left in the game to give the Packers a shot at the game-winning field goal. And then with 3 seconds to go, Mason Crosby drills the 32-yard field goal, and the Packers win a wild one, 30-27.
There's frost.
Would you want to do anything in that? Like, I just think about moving my body in the cold like that.
I don't open the door.
No, it's miserable.
And they
and that's why, like, they're the elite athletes. And
but then there's the sports people who brave the cold
That's
and
true.
shoot the highlights.
I'm lucky to be in the studio tonight and not.
I'm sure we could find a game or something tomorrow. We'll be right back with a final look at your forecast.
All right, taking a look at one final goodbye at your forecast. Get through tonight, everyone, and things do get better temperature-wise. And your Christmas weekend isn't looking too bad either.
Just bundle up in the morning and be sure to wake up with Dan and Allison at 5 a.m. We'll see you later. Have a great night.